This afternoon at the Kingdome. John Vaughn, number 22, and Michael Bates, 81, are the backs for the Seahawks. Husted gets it going. Bates will field it at his own 4. Bates with a couple of holes and gets up to about the 27-yard line. That's where Seattle will take over. And there's their quarterback, second year out of Notre Dame, Rick Meyer. He's had a difficult season in terms of the wins and the losses. As for the offensive line, Kevin Mawai, the rookie. Ray Donaldson, the former Colt, now in his 15th year. As we mentioned, Chris Warren having a banner year, needs just 73 yards for 1,000. Blades also having a super year, as is Kelvin Martin. So 1st and 10 at their own 26. Blades goes in motion. Warren gets the first call, still going, and then thrown back maybe a yard if he's lucky. Let's take a look at the Tampa Bay starting defense. And it begins with a very young defensive line led by first-round pick Eric Curry from last year, but they have not been putting pressure on the quarterback. At linebackers, Hardy Nickerson, certainly one of the very best in the game.
Hey, Fred, can I run in front of the still?
And a veteran secondary led by Thomas Everett, the former Cowboy, who's quite banged up. 3-yard gain for Warren on that play, so we'll go 2nd and 7. Again, Warren the call, and a beautiful hold. Warren's got some room across midfield and finally runs out of bounds near the Seahawks 40-yard line. A 29-yard gain.
Well, and we talked about this a little earlier. I think that's why he's so special. I mean, the first play of the game, I mean, he got 3 yards. It looked like he didn't get anything. And then you give this guy a crack, and you can see what he can do.
Warren has the size and the speed.
He sure does. I mean, he runs a lot like Eric Dickerson. I mean, he's an impressive runner.
Again, he needed just 73 yards to gain 1,000, 29 already. Warren gets the call again. This time goes absolutely nowhere. Hardy Nickerson in on the stop.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to see Seattle doing this a lot today. I mean, Chris Warren is obviously the guy who's been the cornerstone all year. But if they can get Chris Warren going, and he has an opportunity to go over 1,000 yards this year, Seattle's going to have a good day. And really, that's what Tampa Bay is prepared for. Is they're going to run Chris Warren quite a bit.
You saw his numbers from last week. Add in 78 yards receiving and 200 total yards, the best outing of his career. 1-yard loss on that play, so 2nd and 11. Blades and Martin, the receivers. Meyer, his first throw. Quick pass to Warren. Pass to Room, and another first down.
Yeah. You know, they say that Chris Warren doesn't have a real good feel for the passing game, and they haven't went to him as much. But I think he's had to pick up the role because of the tight end, John L. Williams leaving. And I mean, if I was an offensive coordinator, I'd try to get the ball in this guy's hands as much as possible, including the passing game.
He's become a much better receiver. You see Chidi Ahanatu having to track him down. Thomas Everett also helping in on the stop. So another first down. They spot it at the Seahawks 28. Tracy Johnson, a fullback, maybe a yard or 2.
You know, I like to see him give the fullback once in a while. I mean, they have to block so much. It's nice to throw him a bone now and then.
And Warren will certainly talk about how Johnson helps him. And Meyer loves to have both guys in the backfield.
Yeah, well, when you're I think every halfback has a good fullback in front of him and a good offensive line, and these guys have done a good job for Warren all year.
2-yard gain on the last play, so 2nd and 8. Warren, obviously, the workhorse. Johnson, a little setback as Meyer will throw. Incomplete. Blades, the intended receiver. There's Marty Mayhew right there on the coverage.
You know, they've talked a lot about Rick Meyer's inconsistency this year, but you know, Rick Meyer can't control catching the football, and those are all things to combine in a passing game that people don't see. I mean, you watch Blades come out here. I mean, it's a nice ball. It's right in his hands. He should catch this. He just drops it. I mean, it's not an easy catch to make. I mean, that's not, but those kind of things have got to be made, and that helps the passing game.
That's a rare drop for Blades, who struggled last week. But he is their leading receiver. 3 wide receivers in the game. Rob Thomas. That's Paul Green, the tight end, in motion. Meyer fires downfield. Blades hauls that one in. A first down at the 10. 16-yard pickup.
I want you to watch Brian Blades. I mean, he may have dropped that last one, but this is what makes him so good. I mean, he makes a great catch like that. And trust me, when you watch film on Monday, that drop pass and having a catch right after this, having a catch like this right after a drop, you forget about that drop. Watch this. I mean, he lays out. Meyer puts the ball in a perfect position, too, for him.
Blades 5th in the AFC with 52 receptions coming in. Tom Flores says he is, without question, his most steady receiver. 1st and goal. Ball just inside the 10. Chris Warren, the call, has a little room outside and knocked out. They'll mark it at about just inside the 5.
You know what? That is really what I like about Chris Warren, is his strength. I mean, most backs in the National Football League are not going to put that into a positive run. I mean, he gets 3 or 4 yards on a run like that. And that's what I think makes him so special, is how big and strong he is.
Has a little different running style. He's more upright than many of today's runners.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they see Chris Warren, they compare him to a runner like Eric Dickerson. You know, Eric Dickerson ran more straight up.
6-yard gain on the play, so 2nd and goal. 2 tight ends in the game. Breen along with the rookie Crumpler. Warren again, but he stopped short. Fast tackles led by Hardy Nickerson.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Hardy Nickerson. I mean, that time the offensive line didn't get the kind of penetration that they had been getting on the previous runs, and Tampa Bay does a good job here. I think last week they learned something about this. Only on the offensive side, they weren't able to punch it in, but I think Tampa has kind of taken the responsibility. They're going to stop them if they get in a situation like this.
Nickerson, one of the best in the game. Sam Weiss says he's the heart and soul of his defense. 3rd and goal, ball now at the 3. That's Blades in motion. Meyer will throw. Warren has it. Touchdown, Seattle. A quick drive and a quick score for the Seahawks. And no doubt about it, Chris Warren, the workhorse, he has become the featured back, the main man on the Seattle offense.
Well, I said previously, I mean, they said he's not that comfortable with the passing game, but if you can get the ball to this guy in the passing game, he can only help your passing game. The tight ends and the fullback haven't been as effective this year as they would like, so why not use Warren?
John Casey on for the extra point. Casey makes it 7-0 Seattle.
You know, all Warren's going to do is he's going to just come out here and do a little angle route. They've got man coverage. Thomas Everett's taken away. Gets to Warren. Nice touchdown.
That's Warren's 2nd receiving touchdown of the year, his 9th overall, and that's a career high. 10 plays, 74 yards, just under 5 minutes to drive. We'd like to welcome in those who just finished watching the Green Bay Buffalo encounter. You've missed the score already. Seattle marches down the field in 4 minutes and 51 seconds, and they've got a 7-0 lead over the Buccaneers.
Now, what Warren's just going to come out here. Blades does a nice job in taking Thomas Everett away so they can get the ball to Warren, and then he gets in the end zone, breaks it. Nice job. That's a nice call by the offensive coordinator.
Meyer feels a lot more comfortable throwing the ball to Warren as he's become the double threat, both receiving and rushing.
You know, I think the thing that Seattle's going to have to watch too is when they have success early, it's how they react to that success. You know, sometimes occasionally they have the tendency to feel, well, we've made it here, versus come out and try to do something, you know, make another drive or sustain something else. So let's follow Seattle and see how they react to this.
There's Vernon Turner, number 30, who returned a punt earlier this season for a touchdown, but no one in Tampa Bay history has ever returned a kickoff. Turner is back there with Buckley. Turner has it at his own 4. He's got some blocking ahead of him. Vernon Turner takes a little extra, gets up to about the 26. And that's where Tampa Bay will take over. And their starting quarterback, Craig Erickson. Erickson gets the start. Trent Dilfer can go if needed, but the veteran Erickson is set to go. So they'll take over at their own 25. Tampa Bay opens up with 2 tight ends, Davey Moore and Ty J. Armstrong. Eric Rett, the lone setback. Erickson throws, and And it's Eric Red. Gets up to about the 33-yard line. Quick strike early. Let's take a look at the Tampa Bay starting offense. As Craig Erickson.
You know, he's in a unique position. I mean, he knows that he's not going to be the starter when Trent Dilfer comes, but I respect a player like this who has the kind of attitude he does, because he's going to play somewhere. If it's not Tampa Bay, it's going to be somewhere else.
He knows that Trent Dilfer is being paid a lot of money, but it has not affected his performance. 2nd and 3 after that 7-yard pass play. Ball now at the 32. That's the tight end Moore in motion. Eric Red again. And he's close to the first down. A little extracurricular activity. Let's take a look now at the Buccaneer offense starting lineup. Erickson with the 3rd highest ratio for quarterbacks in the NFL, having a very solid season. Meanwhile, the offensive line, Paul Gruber at left tackle, one of the best in the NFL. Red having the big day. Ty.J. Armstrong starting for Jackie Harris, who may be gone for the season. 1st and 10. And Red with another call and gets up maybe another 5 yards. Joe Nash in on the stop. Let's take a look at the Seattle starting defense. Rookie Sam Adams, the 1st-round pick out of Texas A&M. They have high hopes for him. Kennedy having another terrific season despite constant double and triple teaming. The linebackers, Terry Wooden, one of the most underrated in the game. And young quarterbacks, plus the veteran Eugene Robinson at safety. Vernon Turner gets the call. Turner, though, flushed outside and thrown for a loss. Terry Wooden with excellent pursuit.
Well, I'll tell you something. Terry Wooden is an outstanding football player. He's an outstanding linebacker. I mean, he doesn't just make run plays. I mean, you can leave him in there for pass plays.
That's what makes him so special.
And it's a passing down, and they take him out.
Now in his 5th year out of Syracuse. You get the feeling that he'd like to be in a position to rush the quarterback a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that in talking to him yesterday, I think that's something he would like to do more is come after the quarterback.
Mazio Royster comes into the backfield, a 3rd and 6 after that loss of 3. Horace Copeland goes in motion. Erickson, a good rush, and a pass is complete. Hawkins on the reception, up near midfield, good for a 1st down for Tampa Bay. Courtney Hawkins, their 2nd leading receiver.
I think that's what makes Erickson so valuable, is that he makes the smart decisions. I mean, it's 3rd and 8. I mean, first of all, that's not an easy 3rd down to make in this thing. But he lets things unfold, and he finds the receiver coming underneath and gets a nice ball to him.
Flag was thrown on the play.
Number 74, offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Jerry Markbright makes the call on Paul Gruber, and that hurts.
Yeah, you know, these are the things that Tampa Bay does with themselves, and Erickson talked about it yesterday. I mean, when you get a drive going, they shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they have great talent. It's just enabled keeping these mental things straight.
So a 3rd and 17 coming up. Ball all the way back to the 29. 4 wide receivers. Charles Wilson has come into the game. Erickson in the shotgun. Has some time. Almost intercepted. Incomplete. Intended for Wilson. Tony Brown broke it up.
Well, they did a nice job in covering that. And we just talked about him having a 3rd and short. Now here's a 3rd and long, and this is what's wrong with 3rd and long. You've got to throw deep balls. Seattle knows that. Look at that. They've got 4 guys in there.
A young secondary with the exception of Eugene Robinson. And now we have Dan Straczynski on the punt. 3rd in the NFL in net average. Kelvin Martin is back for the Seahawks. Great hang time for Straczynski as always. Martin gets at his own 31 and gets knocked out at about the 39-yard line. A 40-yard punt. 8-yard return. Seattle strikes first. They've got a 7-0 lead here in the 1st.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by DirecTV, introducing personalized TV, by Denorex with conditioners, the serious dandruff shampoo, and by Snickers, packed with peanuts. Snickers really satisfies.
Beautiful day in Seattle. They're short of a sellout, but the Seahawk fans here early watch the Seahawks march down the field quickly and score on their first possession. Seattle will take over now at their own 39, 1st and 10. Steve Smith is in the game now as the fullback. Chris Warren again. Warren breaks a couple of tackles and gets up near midfield.
You know, they nicknamed this guy Smooth, and I think if you watch him, they gave him the right nickname. Watch Steve Smith. I mean, that's one thing. Steve Smith's an outstanding fullback. He gets through the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's the line and the fullback there. I think Chris Warren, you're talking to him yesterday. I mean, he gives a lot of credit to these front guys.
Smith, the former Raider, and you see Warren piling up the yards. He's now just 23 shy of 1,000 for his 3rd straight season. We're going to measure this one. Warren's going to get a breather. Veteran Jerry Markbright's put him on hand. So another 1st down for the Seahawks. Tom Flores certainly happy as he tries to snap this 6-game losing streak. Says the spirit has not died at all on this team despite the losses piling up. And despite Rick Meyer, second-year quarterback, being obviously frustrated.
Yeah, I think Tampa knew Seattle was going to do this. It's just the defensive line is being controlled right now by the offensive line.
John Vaughn comes in on this 1st down play. Blades in motion. Vaughn gets the call. And he's tackled behind. Fumble. Still loose. Tampa Bay may have recovered. Yes, Buccaneers football. Vaughn on his 1st carry coughs it up. And the Buccaneers with an opportunity.
Well, it's just a counter trap. You see the guard pulling. That's the rookie Kevin.
Marty Carter, the initial stop.
The knee must have hit him.
And Martin Mayhew recovers for Tampa Bay. They'll take over at the Seattle 48. During the 6-game losing streak for Seattle, turnovers have been a key, and they cough it up. John Vaughn's fumble. Tampa Bay takes over in Seattle territory. Eric Red again. Cuts inside and still gets maybe 3 or 4 yards. Rod Stevens in on the stop. Tom Flores, who's had to deal with the rumors that he may step down, but told us the other day, Merrill, that he's not even thinking about it.
No, I think he's approached that really well with the guys. And I think what's most important is how the guys have approached him. I mean, they want Tom Flores there. They believe in him and have respect for him, and that's very important.
2nd and 7 at the 45. Erickson with the long count. Brett now moves up. He'll throw on 2nd down, looking downfield. Intended for Lawrence Dawsey. Good coverage on the play by Orlando Waters, the rookie.
All right. Sam Weiss has been famous for doing little things like this. Watch Eric Red. He's just going to step up here. And you know why he's stepping up there? He's got to protect this guy right here. That's his protection. That's actually a good job by Eric Red.
Another part of his learning process in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's blocking those enormous linemen. So a 3rd and 7 coming up for Tampa Bay. Erickson again in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers once again. Erickson fires, intended for Charles Wilson, broken up by Waters, the rookie, with 2 solid plays in a row.
You know, these corners are actually where they figured Seattle coming into the season figured it was going to be one of their strong positions. And you basically have 2 guys that are playing, a rookie and a guy in his 2nd year, but playing for the first time, basically 2 rookies. But as the season has progressed, these guys have played better. I mean, they're starting to develop into good corners.
Straczynski on the punt. Kelvin Martin will be back. Waters, a free agent rookie cornerback out of Arkansas. Strong early. Straczynski gets it high once again. And a fair catch hauled by Martin. Seattle will take over at their own 11-yard line with a 7-0 lead. Just over 5 minutes remaining. 1st quarter. Seattle the early lead. Tampa Bay had a golden opportunity, but once again, Merrill unable to take advantage. of a turnover.
Right. I mean, this is what when you get a turnover, you like to turn them into points. And Tampa Bay has had opportunities. They've just never put any points on the board.
A big 0 in Seattle. Meyer flushed out of the pocket. And he's going to run out of bounds up at about the 15-yard line. Barney Bussey chases him out.
Okay. You know, a lot of people here have talked about Rick Meyer not running like he was last year. And if you watch Rick Meyer, what he did, he ran, but he provided him enough time. If something opened up downfield, he could throw the ball. I mean, really, if you talk to a lot of quarterbacks, they'd rather throw the ball than run anyway. And I think Rick Meyer's become more comfortable in the offense, and he tries to buy time by running there. He didn't really try to get a first down or anything. He just tried to bide some time so he could throw the ball.
He ran 68 times last year. This year, that's only his 27th rush here in the 11th game. 2nd and 6 and a fumble, but flags are down. Looked like the center never snapped the ball. And Jerry Markbright will find out what happened.
53. Center.
We have an illegal snap, which is a false start, no play on number 53 offense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So the veteran Ray Donaldson, now in his 15th year, he says he's been lucky for 15 years.
Yeah, well, I told him that it's not all luck. I mean, he obviously has done a lot to prepare and play this long. But a Ray Donaldson like that, I mean, he'll let that slide. He's the old vet out there.
Coaching staff says he lies about his age. Which is 36. 2nd and 11 now at the 10. Blades goes in motion. Chris Warren immediately brought down. Tampa Bay warning Lonnie Marks and Eric Curry in on the stop.
Now, I'll tell you the difference there. Tampa Bay's defensive line got penetration on Seattle's. I mean, that is the big difference. I mean, the first drive, Seattle dominated. Now you can see Tampa Bay starting to turn it up a little bit. Look at that. Curry gets through. That's a nice job by Curry.
Swarming is after Warren had that terrific first series. Loss of 1 on that play, so a 3rd and 12 coming up. Keith Hoge has checked into the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meyer in the shotgun. Meyer's midfield complete. Blades with the catch up to the 20 and very close to a first down. Thomas Everett on the stop, a 14-yard pickup.
You know, last week, Brian Blades wasn't very effective in the passing game, and I know that they want to get him involved this week. I mean, he just comes in. He does a nice job of just finding the opening in the zone. And then Meyer gets him the ball. This right here is going to give these two guys confidence. And if you get these guys confidence, Chris Warren, I mean, it can be a long day for any football team.
Blades gives him the first down as the ball spotted up at the Seattle 24. Meyer pump fakes, throwing downfield. Excellent coverage from Charles Dimry, intended for Kelvin Martin.
Yeah, you know, Charles didn't bite on that pump fake. I mean, he did a nice job in keeping his position and keep it deep. You know, that's actually one thing that Seattle has not been able to do either, is go deep. And I think that, you know, Tampa Bay understands that. I mean, there's been enough game films that, you know, they're prepared for that too. But you've still got to go deep. You've got to show that threat to keep them, you know, on their toes.
The Tampa Bay defensive line, again, one of their problems, have not put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. 2nd and 10 coming up. Pitch to Warren. Cuts inside. Still going. Knocked out of bounds. Close to another first down.
You know, every time I watch this guy run, I mean, it just goes to show everything we've talked about. I mean, he's not only so big, but he's very nimble-footed. I mean, he does a nice job there avoiding the first tackle. I mean, he takes the pitch and he just bides his time, and he's got great explosion. He just explodes to that hole, avoids that tackle right there, and almost gets a first down. I mean, that's a nice throw.
Marty Carter misses him. And Warren close to another first down. Barney Bussey on the stop. They'll call it a 3rd and 2 right now. Warren, the lone setback. Quick throw. Paul Breen, the tight end, has the first down, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 40. Marty Carter pushes him out.
You know, Paul Green's actually filling in for Farrell Edmonds, and I'm impressed with this guy. I mean, he's a young guy, but he reminds me a lot of like an Adrian Cooper at Minnesota. I mean, he's a great blocker, and he's got good hands. I mean, they lined him up wide. He's a tight end. They lined him up wide and just did a little hitch route with him, get a first down.
3rd year out of Southern Cal, getting the time with Edmonds out. He was also out himself, a little bit injured. So another first down for Seattle. And we'll have the whistle blown out there. Timeout. Seattle with the early lead. Meyer to Warren, a short touchdown pass with just over 2 remaining in the first.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
7-0 lead for the Seahawks. Will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 40. And you see Rick Meyer's stats, the second-year quarterback.
You know, I think these two stats are really important. I mean, his percentage may be down this year, but his interceptions are. And you know, they've talked about Rick Meyer not being as effective last year, but I really think he is. I think he's a better quarterback.
He completes on 1st down. Has not thrown an interception in 4 games.
I mean, that's also key, too. And when you talk about interceptions with quarterbacks, I mean, that's the one thing coaches talk about. I mean, Larry Kennan was talking about the offensive coordinator you see right there. I mean, when we sat with him yesterday, and he couldn't say enough about Eric Meyer. He said, you know, he didn't complete a lot of balls last week, and he didn't have a very effective week. But a lot of that was not Rick's fault. You know, it was a lot of, you know, just the team's fault.
Blades on that reception. Meyer has gone to him often and early here. Blades in motion. Warren gets the call again. He gets up close to a 1st down, a couple of yards short. So Warren, the workhorse. Meyer also has completed 6 of his first 8 passes. Lonnie Martz and Marty Mayhew on the stop. 3rd and 2 coming up. You see the young defensive line for Tampa Bay. Santana Dotson in the middle there, number 71. Promising as a rookie. He slowed down a little bit. So with 3rd and 2, they spotted at the Seattle 48. Warren again. Excellent block inside. He's got the 1st down and more. Down to the 37-yard line.
Boy, Jeff Blackshear sure got a nice job. They did a little pitching. He pulled out there and did a nice job.
15-yard pickup for Warren as they move the chains again. Seattle not having a problem moving the football.
Boy, Roberts did a nice job there.
So Ray Roberts and the offensive line opening up holes for Chris Warren, who is having a field day thus far. 76 yards, so he is over the 1,000-yard mark for his 3rd straight season.
You know, I talked to him yesterday, and you know, he has an opportunity to break Kurt Warner's record. And although he had put a lot of his yards aside for victories, but.
And that's the end of the 1st quarter. Chris Warren and the Seattle Seahawks with a 7-0 lead.
1st down. And we're on the 37.5.
Seattle with the lead and moving once again on a drive that started way back on their own 11. They've got 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 37. Fake reverse. Meyer quick pass to Warren, but he can't handle it. Incomplete. Mark Wheeler right there on the coverage.
Well, there's a lot of play action stuff that goes on there. And sometimes you get fooled there. I mean, he did a nice job. Wheeler does a nice job in reading the screen and not letting all that reverse action fool him.
Again, Warren just going over the 1,000-yard mark for the 3rd straight season. Currently 4th in the NFL, 2nd in the AFC. 2nd and 10. Warren again has another hole. He's still going. He's got the 1st down. Down near the 10-yard line. Brought down by Lonnie Martz.
But right there shows you Warren's strength. I mean, you know, Jeff Blackshear does a nice job in pulling, and then Warren, he comes through. I mean, this is what makes great halfbacks, is being able to break tackles once you have an opening right there. I mean, he breaks 3 tackles right there, and he has the explosion to keep it going.
Barney Bussey missed the tackle, enabling Warren for the big gain. So a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Lonnie Martz may have saved a touchdown here.
So Warren having an excellent day, and it's just the 1st half. Gets it again, maybe a yard on that play. Hardy Nickerson quickly brings him down.
Now there's a guy that's going to have to show up now. I mean, Hardy Nickerson is the heart and soul of this defense. making plays like that, I mean, he's been known for. But, you know, Hardy Nixon needs help up front. That's, I think, been the thing with Tampa Bay is their defensive line hasn't played as well as they played early on in the year. And when their defensive line plays well, actually gives more opportunities for those linebackers.
Tampa Bay defense 28th against the rush, dead last, and it is showing so far this afternoon. Warren is already over the 100-yard mark. Blades goes in motion on 2nd and 9. Warren again cuts back in and gets up to about the 6. It looked like it was going to be a loss, but the second effort, John Lynch brings him down.
I mean, he's 225 pounds, and that's kind of a Barry Sanders cut right there. I mean, there's not too many guys in this league that can do this. I mean, he stops on a dime, probably gave somebody some change, and almost gets a first down. I think that actually is a nice call by the offensive coordinator. I mean, he's hot. The offensive line is doing a good job. I mean, let's get a positive play so that we don't have 3rd and long.
Just getting a breather as John Vaughn comes in. Vaughn had 1 carry earlier and fumbled. 3rd and 4 from the 5. Meyer will throw again. Flushed out. Complete to Vaughn. Touchdown, Seahawks. 5-yard completion. 13-0 Seattle lead.
You know what? This is where I think this is why Rick Meyer's a better quarterback. I mean, last year he probably would have taken he would have took off and ran. But no, he bides some time and finds the open guy. I mean, John Vaughn's right open in the flat, and he gets him the football.
Vaughn comes right back from the fumble and gets a score. Casey's on for the extra point. An 89-yard drive for the Seahawks. A fake. Casey goes in. 2-point conversion for the Seattle Seahawks. It's 15-0.
Now, obviously, Seattle special teams coach has seen something through the week that enabled them to do that.
Seattle dominating early here at the Kingdome. John Casey will kick off. Seattle leading 15-0. Vernon Turner tries to get outside. Good pursuit from the Seahawks, and he's knocked back to about the 20. A flag is thrown on the play. So let's get the call from Jerry Markbright. Max Strong and Tony Brown in on that stop. But again, flag is thrown. Tom Flores has to be happy with the way things have started, obviously, and he's
57 on the return. 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
Second penalty against Tampa Bay, as they're already in a 15-0 hole.
Fans register to win a 1995.
You know, John Vaughn is not the first receiver on this. Watch Kelvin Martin. He just takes his guy deep. Somebody in this area has John Vaughn, who runs over to the flat. And this is why I think Rick Meyer's a better quarterback. I mean, he lets things develop. He bides a little time. And gets John Vaughn who's wide open.
On 1st and 10, after the penalty starting at their own 11, Tampa Bay, Eric Rett.
You know, I think that this is something that Tampa needs to do. They need to just sit back. Don't throw their game plan out. There's plenty of time on the clock. Give it to Eric Rett and get something going offensively. You'll try to get a drive going here.
4-yard gain on that one. Both defenses have been very inconsistent all year. Second and 6. Double tight ends now. Dave Moore goes in motion. Grant has a hole up the middle, close to a first down. He stopped at about the 21 from a host of Seahawks, including Eugene Robinson.
You might see a little more of this. I mean, they're going to use 2 tight ends to kind of spread them out. They're going to take the aggressiveness of Cortez Kennedy and those defensive linemen, let them get upfield, and then trap them. I mean, there's a nice trap by the fullback. McDowell does a nice job.
Red has found some holes. Just Warren has stole the show so far. Greg Greg Erickson. Very poised. Studies as much as any quarterback in the NFL, since he learned that from Steve DeBerg when DeBerg played with him. They call it a first down at the 21. And another nice gain for Eric Redd. Maybe 8 yards. Terry Wooden brings him down.
I mean, this is a nice job. It's kind of like a press play. They're going to line a lot of guys over to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to hand the ball off to Redd and let him find a hole there. I mean, watch these guys here. Everybody comes here and just pushes everybody out of there. And then Eric Redd's just got to find the hole. I mean, this is a good job by the linebackers and the tight ends and the linemen do a nice job there. And there's Terry Wood. He comes back to make the play.
2nd and 2. Eric Redd again. And he gets the first down. Redd's averaging about 5 yards per carry.
And I think you still have to do this. I mean, you have to just keep pounding and pounding. I mean, Eric Redd, I mean, he had a great week last week, and there's going to be a lot of things come off of this. I mean, you're going to see a play-action pass here sooner or later, or they're going to try to go deep.
Terry Wooden in on the stop. Redd again adjusting to life in the NFL. When you made the jump from college to the NFL, what's the hardest part for a running back?
Well, I think everybody talks about is the speed. I mean, everybody you line up against is a good football player across the line. All 11 guys are outstanding football players.
1st and 10. Tampa Bay at their own 35. Redd again. Doesn't get much this time. Brought down by Cortez Kennedy. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Mike, Miami closed the season last year with 5 straight losses. Today, dropped their 2nd straight courtesy of a 39-yard field goal in OT by Gary Anderson. The Steelers improved to 8-3. Back to Mike Breen and ex-Steeler Merrill Hoge.
Thank you, James. Merrill jumping up and down with news of another Steeler victory.
Yeah, they needed that. I think that may put them back in a tie for first.
2nd and 9. Ball now at the 36. Wooden ready to charge. Davey Moore now splits out to the right. On the ground again is Eric Redd. The second effort gets him another couple of yards, but Eugene Robinson stops him. And we'll have about a 3rd and 5 coming up.
You know, and I think when teams are struggling, I mean, on 2nd and long, people sometimes don't think that's a very smart call, but that is a smart call. I mean, this puts him in 3rd and short now. 3rd and short is much easier to make in this league than 3rd and long. And Eric Redd does a nice job in getting those extra yards.
Eugene Robinson in his 10th year stops Redd. Well, again, has been impressive early, though not as impressive as Chris Warren, who's mainly responsible for a 15-0 Seattle lead. 3rd and 5. The Kingdom crowd trying to make some noise. Redd another call. Knocked behind the line of scrimmage. The initial hit, Rufus Porter, he slowed him down.
Well, you can see they're trying to. Cortez Kennedy gets off of the ball, and when offensive coordinators come in and you see Cortez Kennedy's aggressiveness, what they like to do is they like to trap Cortez Kennedy. They try to trap him right there. They try not to stop Cortez. Let Cortez do what he's going to do, but try to take that advantage and trap him.
Straczynski already busy. Kelvin Martin back to field it for Seattle. Another beautiful punt and another fair catch. That's his specialty. Seattle will take over at their own 23. 37-yard punt, no return. Seahawks in control. $15-0 Seattle lead. Coming up midway 2nd quarter at the Kingdome in Seattle. Time for today's Aflac NFL trivia question. What team did the Buccaneers defeat for their first ever franchise win? Answer coming up shortly. 49-year-old Sam Weish with instructions. He knows the situation. He's a realist. Feels there's a good chance he might be gone, but has not stopped the enthusiasm, as you can see there.
Yeah, well, he's been enough times in this league to understand what it's all about.
Meyer throws on first down, downfield, broken up. Charles Dimry, intended for Kelvin Martin.
You know what's interesting is I haven't seen this very much, but if you see these benches here, that's the first time I've ever seen 2 levels. I guess right here is for guys that are in trouble, and these guys are just trying to get away from the trouble.
I have a feeling you sat on that trouble bench.
Well, I wish they would have had 2 benches like that when I was playing. Sometimes I'd have gotten the back row. Second better back there.
2nd and 10. Steve Smith is in the game. That's Blades in motion. Smith with the call, straight up the middle. Santana, Dotson brings him down, but not before Smith gets a few.
You got to keep him honest. You got to give the fullback a carry. Kind of soft-hearted with it. I like the fullback to get a run now and then.
Smith and Tracy Johnson split times at the fullback. You see Smith with limited rushing opportunities. Does have a touchdown.
He played for Tom Flores, and that's why Tom Flores brought him over, because he likes his blocking ability.
3rd and 5. Seahawks 6 for 6 so far on 3rd down conversions. Meyer in the shotgun. Flushed out of the pocket. Good rush. And he's going to be brought down at about the 31-yard line. Keith Poe.
Well, you can see the difference when the defensive line gets pressure on a quarterback. Boy, does it make it tough to... It makes it tough on quarterbacks. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do a good job here. I mean, they get penetration this time. I mean, Brad Culpepper does a nice job. Swims over there and forces Rick Meyer out of the pocket. And that's what you want to do with Rick Meyer, even though he can run the football. I mean, you want to do that to any quarterback. You want to disrupt their pattern.
Rick Tootin, maybe the best in the NFL, best in Seattle history. Vernon Turner is back. Beautiful high punt. Turner fields it at his own 24. Tries to cut through and is brought down. 15-0 lead for the Seahawks. Just over 6 minutes remaining in the second. Once again, today's Aflac trivia question. What team did the Buccaneers defeat for their first ever franchise win? It was a low day for the New Orleans Saints. They got hammered. 1977. 1st and 10. Buccaneers at their own 29, trailing 15-0. Erickson throws on 1st down to complete to Courtney Hawkins. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 35 by Orlando Waters. Sam Weiss told Fox's Lonnie Lardner on the pregame show he's not stupid. He understands that when there's a change of ownership and a losing record, he might be gone. He says one of the things he relaxes him, though, he's flying, flies his own plane.
Yeah, they got a lot of pilots out there.
I think they lead the NFL in pilots. 3. Yeah. 2nd and 4 off on 6-yard pass play. Eric Rett brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Rufus Porter in there along with Terry Wooden. Linebackers playing well, Merrill.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's doing a good job defensively, but one of the things they watched through the week is, as Tampa talked to us, is they have certain formations that they throw a lot out of, and they wanted to break those tendencies. And that last formation was a throwing tendency for them, and they decided they're going to run out of it, but it obviously didn't fool the Seattle Seahawks.
3rd and about 5 coming up for Tampa Bay. And the Kingdom crowd trying to make some noise. Erickson complete to Lawrence Dawsey for the 1st down.
Well,
up to about the 44.
That's a tough catch to make when you're a receiver. I mean, that shows when good receivers go in there with the linebackers and make those tough catches. They don't like to go in where those linebackers are, but when you go in there, guys that make catches like that, that shows a lot of courage there. Hey, watch, he's going to come up here and he's going to hook. Not in his position between 2 linebackers. I mean, those are 2 of the toughest hitters on the Seattle defense.
Because of injury, Dawsey's only played the last 4 games. And he's picking up right where he left off the past 2 seasons when he was the leading receiver. Erickson throws on 1st down, complete. Ty.J. Armstrong, the tight end, with a big gain. And he's thrown out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
Now, there's a defensive tight end right there. I mean, this guy may play on the offensive side of the ball, but he reminds me a lot of Greg Lloyd. I mean, he just has a defensive mentality. I mean, Erickson hangs in here because Cortez Kennedy gets free, and he's going to give him a shot. But he gets the ball to Ty.J. Ty.J.'s going to be, I mean, he's a good tight end. He's kind of had a rap of being a dirty player, but that's not dirty. I mean, Ty.J.'s just an aggressive football player. They're not used to seeing offensive players be that aggressive.
He's mean. That's what Greg Erickson says about him. 26-yard gain, 1st and 10. Anthony McDowell wants to make sure the play is all set. Ball now at the 30. Eric Rett has a hole, but quickly brought down by Terry Wooden.
Did you hear the crowd pick its voice level up? See, they understand audibles. When they see the offensive quarterback starting to make changes like that, they know this dome's an advantage. It's a disadvantage to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They picked up the level when they saw it.
This is considered one of the loudest places in the NFL when it's filled capacity, which is just over 64,000, 66,000 I should say, but they had about 10,000 seats unsold as of yesterday, and they're short of capacity. Rudy Harris is checked in as the second setback, 2nd and 8 now. Tampa Bay at the 28, and we have flags. Some movement on the line. Looks like Davey Moore.
See, now with the rule change, that just might be on Seattle.
Sam Adams moved on the Seahawk line. And the official discussion with Jerry Markbright.
There's a discussion now because of the rule change.
The neutral zone infraction change.
Defensive players can't get in that neutral zone. And if they do, an offensive player moves, it usually is on the offensive player. It was in previous years, but that has been changed.
We have a neutral zone infraction on number 98 defense. Jumped into the neutral zone, causing an offensive reaction. 5-yard penalty.
So Sam Adams, he's just going to move, and it causes him to move. Now, normally, or a year ago, that would have been on the offense, but they've changed that rule, you know, to benefit the, teams like this and domes like this, because you can't hear very well.
Used to call it the false start always on the offense, but Jerry Markbright.
Defensive players just use that as an advantage, and they can't do that anymore.
So Sam Adams, the rookie, with the penalty. That makes it 2nd and 3. Ball now at the 23-yard line. Moore goes in motion. Eric Brett cuts inside. Close to the first down. Brought down at the 21. Joe Nash in on the stop.
You know, Eric Brett's not very tough, but that was a tough run right there. I mean, he may get the first down on that, and that was kind of on his own. He had a seam there, but he got his, I mean, he hit the seam and he exploded through there and got the extra yards. That's what Sam Weiss actually talked yesterday about him, is he's not a burner, but he understands what he's good at. I mean, he's a slasher. When he sees a hole, he's going to hit it.
So they're going to measure this one. Brett said the toughest adjustment for him, Merrill, is losing. I mean, Florida, he was so successful in that program in high school.
Yeah, and
he's just not used to it.
That's cool.
I think oftentimes, you know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers like to bring those type of players who have been from winning programs, and hopefully it'll feed off here. And, you know, they need players like that. I really feel that Tampa Bay is an improved football team, and I believe that they're continually going to improve. You know, Sam talked yesterday, he had a 5-year deal for that reasoning. It's hard to turn a team around in 3 years. That's what he wanted, a 3-year contract. And they said, no, it's going to take you 5 years. And you can see the progressive of this team, the progression that it's making, it is positive. You know, if Sam's able to stay, I think in a couple of years you're going to see this be a playoff caliber football team.
They had a very strong finish last year and really felt that it was going to carry them over into this year, but it has not been the case. However, they're on the move right now, 1st and 10 at the Seattle 20-yard line. Dawsey in motion. Erickson fires. Ty.J. Armstrong, penalty on the play. The intended receiver, Armstrong, Eugene Robinson in on the coverage, and it appears to be pass interference.
I know Craig Erickson would love to have been up in the booth for that one. I mean, those guys were so wide open, they were covering each other.
Pass interference, number 41, defense.
Watch. They cover each other here.
First down, automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Somebody blew it, but they were wide open.
And Robinson called for the pass interference. So Tampa Bay, despite somebody not running the right pattern, gets a break, and Sam Weiss's team now has it 1st and goal at the 2.
Now, last week they had problems here, and we're going to see right now if they were overcome those problems.
They had 1st and goal at the 1 on their first possession and just came away with a field goal. McDowell and Red are the setbacks. That's McDowell. Stopped. Good hit from Eugene Robinson.
Well, that's a good job by Seattle. And I think that, you know, Craig Erickson talked about this last week, that there is a mentality that goes on down there. Once you move inside that 5-yard line, I mean, there's got to be a mentality. It comes down to the will to put that thing in the end zone. And he said last week they didn't have it.
2-minute warning here in the first half. Seattle still in control.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide.
Beautiful Seattle, Washington, the site, and Tampa Bay with a chance to put a dent in a rather poor statistic.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of opportunities there, but when they do get opportunities, they're not capitalizing very much. And that's kind of been the problem with Tampa this year, offensively speaking.
2nd and goal at the 2. Red and McDowell again are the setbacks.
Boy, this is tough to audible down here.
The Seahawk fans trying to help out. Maybe a broken play, and Erickson short of the goal line. Rod Stevens stopped him, but it looked like Rhett may have gone the wrong way.
Yeah, and that's just tough. I mean, in a place like this, it's so loud. I mean, you've got to just set a play, and you've got to go up and run, especially if it's going to be a running play. You've only got a yard to go. I mean, you can see he's...
Obviously, the crowd coming into play.
Well, he told McDowell, but he forgot to tell Rhett.
They did gain a yard, so 3rd and goal at the 1. Ty.J. Armstrong brought down. Great pursuit from the Seattle defense. Sam Nash in on the stop. Antonio Edwards.
Well, Seattle wasn't full, but I'll tell you what, that was a tough run by Ty.J. I mean, I think he broke 10 tackles here. I mean, he could have lost 5 yards. I mean, nice job. I mean, he breaks that tackle. Now he's excited.
They are going for it on 4th down. They lost a yard, so 4th and goal at the 2. Erickson's going to throw. Touchdown, Courtney Hawkins.
That's a gutsy call, but that was a very good play. I mean, I think Sam did the right thing. You've got to score touchdowns here. I mean, last week you saw what happened. They didn't score touchdowns, and it really shifted the momentum of the game for them.
Huge play for the Buccaneers. Now the question, as Seattle with that 15-0 lead, is it too early to go for a 2-point conversion because the Seahawks have already converted?
No, I think you've got to kick. You've got to go for 1 here. But George Stewart, I mean, he's an outstanding special teams coach. He got some trick-or-treats in his bag. I mean, you might see something here.
Michael Husted on for the extra point. And the Buccaneers with a big 4th down play get on the board. Just 33 seconds left in the half. It's 15-7. Buccaneers 10 plays, 71 yards, took just over 5.5 minutes, and they're back in the game.
Lawrence, he does a nice job in just selling the little slant route there, and then he comes back out, and then Erickson gives a nice ball on the outside. Yeah, that's a little frustration for a couple weeks there. I mean, they needed that.
They had their problems certainly last week against the Lions, and a big 4th down play. Hawkins with the touchdown.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to defend too against a guy like Courtney Hawkins.
Hawkins'
third on an island like that.
His 3rd touchdown of the year. Husted kicks it into the end zone. Michael Bates back. So now 33 seconds remain in this first half. Rick Meyer with one last chance. Twice before she's faced this deadly enemy. Tuesday, the terror is back. Sigourney Weaver stars in the nonstop action thriller Alien 3. World broadcast premiere Tuesday at 8/7 Central, right here on Fox. Meyer and the Seahawks, 33 seconds. They have the ball at their own 20. 1st and 10. 15-7, Seattle in front. Chris Warren adds to his yardage total. Gets across the 26 up to about the 27. Thomas Everett in on the stop. And want to remind you, coming up, Dockers halftime. James and Terry will have all the scores and highlights from around the NFL. Coming up next on the Dockers halftime. Cannot say enough what that play means. Down 15-0. If they fall down, Tampa Bay, and not score there, they go into the locker room on a down note.
Right, you're going to go in with some confidence, and Tampa Bay needs this. I mean, going down 15-0 and to fight your way back where you've made it a game now, you've got to come out as the second half. You're going to get the football, take it down, and put another 7 points or 8 points on the board. You got to tie a game or you're down by 1.
Both teams trying to snap losing streaks. And that's the end of the first half with the score. Seattle 15, Tampa Bay 7. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues.
Run. He only likes to run, I'm sure, unless, you know, just to get that first down or get a touchdown or keep a drive alive.
John Casey will kick off. Curtis Buckley and Vernon Turner back for Tampa Bay. A 15-7 lead. Seattle on their second touchdown faked the extra point and succeeded on the 2-point conversion. And there you have your 8-point lead. Casey set to go. Turner will field it as his own 8-yard line. Has a little room to run and quickly brought down. David Brandon on the stop. And Tampa Bay will take over at about their own 24-yard line. Erickson in the first half. The numbers 5 of 8, 50 yards and a touchdown.
And those are good numbers. I mean, they ran the ball effectively, and they really weren't on the field very much, especially in the first quarter. Seattle controlled the time of possession. But, you know, they've got the ball now. Let's see if they can put a drive together and tie this thing up.
He's only thrown 3 interceptions this year. Best ratio in the NFL. Dawsey goes in motion on 1st and 10. Eric Redd again the call. Big gain for Eric Redd. Gets the first down up to about the 37 before Eugene Robinson stops him with 12-yard pickup.
I think what's going to make that running play so effective is it almost looks like a play action. I mean, this is how he's going to run his play action. This is the exact style they're going to run. I mean, you're going to see play action out of this. That was a huge hole for Eric Redd. Nice run.
Said last week, gaining over 100 yards for the first time, really a confidence builder for him. And that's evident so far this afternoon. 1st and 10 at the 36. Redd again the call. This time completely brought down. Terry Wooden on the stop.
Yeah, well, Seattle just dominated the line of scrimmage there. I mean, they got penetration and forced Eric Redd back, and then the pursuit got him.
You're impressed with Wooden. He's not one of the more heralded linebackers, but you feel he's very underrated.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, Terry Wooden is an outstanding football player. I mean, he's the leading tackler on this team. And last week he had an interception that a lot of receivers would praise. I mean, he's just got a lot of talent as a linebacker. He's a good leader.
Leads the team in interceptions as well with 3. 2nd and 10. Erickson to throw. Has some time. Complete to Hawkins. But well short of the first down. Carlton Gray on the coverage.
That was a nice job by Hawkins coming back to the ball. I mean, you know, he was actually covered there, and he worked himself back under. Now he just works right there at the angle he's at. He works his way back under to get open for Erickson. It's a nice job by the receiver there.
Buccaneers have some speed at wide receiver with Copeland and Dawsey and Hawkins. They've got 4 wide receivers out there right now. Mazio Royster, the lone setback. 3rd and 6 for Tampa Bay. Erickson has some time. Incomplete. Intended for Dawsey. Eugene Robinson and McClellan. Dave McClellan on the coverage.
Yeah, that was a combination of defense there. That was good pressure on Erickson, and then the defensive back did a nice job of covering everybody. Erickson didn't really have anybody really open.
Dan Straczynski back on the field. Kelvin Martin is back. Straczynski 3 times has led the NFL in fair catches induced. He's at it again this year. 26 fair catches and 42 punts prior to today's game. Martin's already had 2 fair catches. Another beautiful punt. Martin has nothing to do but call the fair catch, and Seattle will take over at their own 22. 38-yard punt, no return. Seattle still in front here in the 3rd.
Brought to you by Lexus, maker of the faster and roomier 1995 LS400. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. And by Hager, 100% cotton and wool casual clothing. Hager, stuff you can wear.
If you look right here, these three receivers, they kind of call that a spaghetti effect. Copeland comes down the sideline and he's wide open, but oftentimes when you run stuff like this, I mean, it takes time to develop. And then, you know, actually, that's where defensive line comes into play, because when they rush Erickson out, he doesn't have time to look at those kind of things.
Good work from the Tampa Bay defensive line on that play. Chris Warren stopped by Chidi Ahanatu. One of the rare times Warren hasn't found a hole. He's run well, but his line has done an excellent job blocking for him.
Yeah, the offensive line, in fact, that's the first thing he pointed out. You know, how good his offensive line had been blocking and the fullbacks.
Said it's hard to enjoy the personal success with a fine season with all the losing.
Yeah, you know, he would give that up for some games.
2nd and 11, 1-yard loss. Warren gets the ball again and maybe gets a couple before stop. Lonnie Martz among those in on the stop. Thomas Everett right there.
Yeah, it looks like Tampa's come out with a different attitude here, defensively speaking. I mean, the defensive line is getting penetration right now, and they're starting to take control of the offensive line.
Warren a little slow getting up. Not going to take any chances.
We hope he's all right, because that's a big loss for Seattle if he can't play.
Officials timeout. 3rd quarter. Seattle in front as they wait for Warren to get up.
You know, Chris Warren's just going to do a belly effect here and read the offensive line and then make the cut. But you're going to watch Thomas Everett come in here. Right there. And his helmet's going to get him in the thigh. He was able to walk off on his own power, so that's a good sign.
Well, limping quite a bit as Meyer throws downfield. Intercepted. Martin Mayhew with the pick. And that's Meyer's first interception of the past 4 games.
Yeah, Martin just sat on that, too. I mean, he sat on there and drove on the ball nicely.
2nd turnover from Seattle. They fumbled earlier, but Tampa Bay could do nothing with it.
Yeah, now, this is the problem Tampa Bay has had, not being able to put points on the board after turnovers. So let's see if they can do that, because this is something they need to do. They've got good field position. This is put them right back in the game here.
So 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers. They'll have it at the Seahawks 32-yard line. A fumble earlier by John Vaughn, and now the Meyer interception. McDowell goes in motion. Erickson will throw on 1st down. Complete. Lawrence Dawson hits some more. Down to about the 18-yard line. Eugene Robinson in on the stop, a 14-yard pickup.
That's a great run after the catch. I mean, good receivers will do that. They'll catch the ball, and then they'll get yards after it. And he does a great job here. Just pulls up, gets him the ball, turns up field, and he turns up the field which side Erickson threw the ball to, too. That's also smart. Makes 5 or 10 extra yards on his own.
And another 1st down. They mark it at the 19. Tampa Bay trailing 15-7. Eric Rett gets around Wooden, and he gets down to about the 12.
Well, that was a nice cut by Eric Rett. I mean, he got 5 or 6 yards on his own there. I mean, they struggled to the sideline, and he makes a nice cut to get back upfield. And that's one thing they talked about him doing good. I mean, he spreads it, he gets back Terry Wooden, and then makes a nice cut to get outside Gray.
Carlton Gray tripping him up.
That's one thing they said about Eric Rett is, I mean, he's going to spread as soon as he sees the crack, he's going to hit it.
7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 at the 12. 2 tight end set for the Buccaneers. Play action. Erickson looks into the end zone, and he throws it away. Hawkins was completely covered. Eugene Robinson and Orlando Waters all over him.
Yeah, sometimes when you run these kind of confusion and play action things, you lose your own offensive players, and I think that's what happened there. Hawkins wasn't able to get back over and got picked by, I think it was Eugene Robinson he got picked by. Actually comes across the middle there. He's wide open right there. I don't think that Erickson had the time to get it to him, though, after he had done his play action fake.
Joe Nash putting on some pressure on Erickson to flush him out. So 3rd and 3 coming up. 4 wide receivers. Charles Wilson has come on. Royster is the lone setback. Erickson fires. Charles Wilson, they say incomplete. He was out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to really didn't have control of the football. It's probably bobbling.
Orlando Waters on the coverage, and a 4th down coming up. Michael Usted to try for the field goal. Usted 13 of 20 in 1994. He's 10 for 10 inside the 40, and this one will be about a 30-yard field goal. Call it a 29, between 29 and 30. Usted's kick is good, and for the first time this season, Tampa Bay has scored off a turnover. And with just over 10 minutes remaining in the 3rd, it's 15-10 Seattle. Scored quick and led 15-0, but Tampa Bay, trying to snap their 5-game losing streak, have stormed back. It's now 15-10 as Michael Usted will kick off. Bates will get it at his own 10. Bates trying to get around, and he stopped at about the 19-yard line. Mike Recruiter in on the tackle. And of course, coming up next week on Fox, all begins with a pregame at 12 noon Eastern. And games you will see: the Bears and the Cardinals, Giants visiting RFK, and the Rams and the Chargers. Check your local listings for the games in your area next Sunday, Fox and the NFL. So Seattle will take over, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Meyer throwing a rare interception to set up a field goal for Tampa Bay. On this time, and a fumble. Tampa Bay has it. Nope. One official signaling Tampa Bay. Another one said it was down, and now Jerry Markwright says Buccaneers football.
Wow, that was a pop. I mean, that's just a hard hit that lost that ball.
Second fumble for Vaughn.
Well, there's a premium on holding the ball in this league, and you can't put it on the carpet. You know what? He just gets the handoff, and I'll tell you, Tampa Bay came out with a different attitude. I mean, they've come out with the attitude of, we're going to put it to Seattle, like Seattle put it to them the first half. I think Culpepper's helmet hit that ball.
Lonnie Martz recovers. Barney Bussey also with the initial stop. And then Culpepper knocking it loose. Sam Weich's team now with another opportunity. Turnovers, Seahawks 3, Buccaneers none. 1st and 10, they're right back in striking range at the 16. This has been the Seattle problem. Erickson will throw on 1st down. Fires complete. Lawrence Dawsey at about the 4-yard line. Robinson brings him down, but not before they had set up a 1st and goal, a 13-yard completion.
Ty-J and Dawson had a great chance at that ball. I mean, Erickson, I don't know who we'll have to see who he was throwing to. Looks like he's looking at Dawsey, but Ty-J had a chance to grab that too. That's a nice catch.
Erickson with some time to throw.
Now's where they've got to put points on the board. I mean, you've got to get a touchdown. I mean, forget the field goals. You need touchdown now.
1st and goal from the 3. Eric Brett brought down. Carlton Gray on the stop.
That was a nice play like Carlton Gray. You've talked about these corners earlier on. I mean, these guys are making better plays. I mean, they're not only doing good in the passing game, but, I mean, they're doing good in the run support. I mean, that's great support by a corner there.
We just received word that Chris Warren has been taken back to the locker room to x-ray his hip. Here's see number 26, Carlton Gray. Gray and Waters both getting time with Nate Odoms and Kirby Jackson. A couple of free agent signings who are out with injuries. 2nd and 3. 2nd and goal, I should say, on the 3. That's Dawsey in motion. Eric Brett. Very close. Some Buccaneers are signaling touchdown. Nothing yet from the officials.
Yeah, if it's close, you like to do that. You like to give the officials a little help out there. Yeah, he doesn't get in, but it never hurts to give that signal.
You never know who you can coerce.
Yeah, exactly. Officials have been known to mess up on those things now and then.
So a 3rd and goal on the 1. 2 turnovers here in the 3rd quarter. Turnovers have really hurt Seattle. Looks like Sean Love has come in as an eligible receiver. And he stopped again, a fumble. Seattle recovers. Terry Wooden picks up the loose ball.
What a huge turnaround for Seattle. I mean, they needed it. And actually, that's the thing that they hadn't, the last few games, they had not gotten turnovers. And this is a great time to get a turnover. This is just a great hit. I mean, McDowell doesn't, he just gets hit right on top of the head. I mean, his fumble and John Vaughn's fumble, I mean, they've done the proper things as a running back. They've taken care of the ball, but sometimes, boy, you get in situations where you get popped and that thing just comes loose.
So the rookie coughs it up. Rod Stevens, the one with the helmet attack, to force the fumble, and Wooden right there to pick it up. Tampa Bay again cannot convert on the turnover. Seattle has it at their own 6. Steve Smith straight up the middle, and maybe gets a couple, but nothing more than that. So Warren still back in the locker room as they're mentioned checking out his hip. He got banged up, took a helmet on one of his runs.
And even though John Vaughn's fumbled twice, he's got to rebound from that. I mean, those things are going to happen.
So a 2nd and 8. Meyer hands off to Strong. His first carry, Max Strong, only gets up to about the 10, well short of the first down.
Yeah, well, they're going to put Mack in there because of John Vaughn. You know, he's fumbled twice, so they, you know, probably hold him aside and give this kid a chance. Yeah. He read that nicely. I mean, there was a nice hole back there. He just got tripped up.
What goes through your mind after a couple of fumbles in a game?
Well, a lot of running backs seem to run a little more tentative. You know, when you fumble the ball, I mean, that becomes your main concern, and you don't let things develop in front of you, and you don't let things happen. You're worried more about the football, and it's not a good feeling.
3rd and 6 at the 10. Blades goes in motion. Meyer throws, complete to Blades, a flag on the play.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, there's a safety who comes up and hits you. I mean, Thomas Everett is one of the best, maybe the best in the league, coming up and hitting you.
Brought a Super Bowl ring to Tampa Bay, of course, with the Cowboys. And the Buccaneers feeling this one's going against Seattle.
Pass interference, number 87, offense. Take them all back.
Paul Green, the tight end, with the penalty for Tom Flores' team.
I don't think Paul agrees with that. He's going to tell him what he thinks about it, too.
He just did. We won't repeat what he said.
Just watch the top here. Oh, that's not pass interference. I mean, there's a little contact that goes on all the time, and that's part of football, but that was not pass interference. I mean, pass interference from an offensive standpoint, I mean, you got to push off the guy. I mean, all he was doing was trying to get through. Yeah, now watch this. I mean, all he does is come up and run his route. Now, I don't, they can't call that. If they called pass interference right there, I mean, that's the first 5, that's 5 yards. I mean, he's allowed to make contact as well as the defensive player is.
Those are the type that you feel they can pretty much call every play if they wanted to make that call.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's really a sticky area, but you know, that 5-yard rule, they've been harder this year on it. But you've got to allow that. You've got to allow players to play.
So Tampa Bay will take the penalty and push them back. So a 3rd and 11 coming up at the 5.
Well, this is the kind of thing defenses have to do. When offense loses the ball this close, I mean, you've got to take advantage and hold them down there.
So 3rd and 11. The Seattle offense sputtering a bit here in the second half. Meyer flushed out. Myers downfield. Blades catches it. Complete for a first down. Mike McCruder on the stop, but not before a 14-yard completion.
You know, again, I mean, Rick Meyer left the pocket, but he left the pocket not running. I mean, he was letting his receivers develop and get open. I mean, and Brian Blades, I mean, he's a proven veteran, so he knows what to do. He sees trouble. Let me come back to him. Really, you would like to see.
That's their initial first down since early in the second quarter. Blades, his 4th catch. first and 10. Meyer throws. Complete. Up to about the 32-yard line. Tracy Johnson with his first reception of the afternoon.
Well, you know, Seattle's passing game has much improved today. The last couple of weeks, I think they've struggled there. You know, Rick Meyer needs some confidence, and I think they're gaining that. Getting out of the hole like that gives your offensive football team some confidence doing that.
Steve Smith checks back in as Johnson will sit. 6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4. 15-10, Seattle in front. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third. Mike Breen and Merrill Hoge on hand at the Kingdome in Seattle. Smith the call, and he's brought down at about the 31. Check that, Max Strong on the carry.
You know, I don't know if Max Strong expected to be in this position right now, but the way this league is, I mean, you never know. I mean, those second and third guys have got to be ready to play. I mean, they're just not there much. There's not that much there for him. You know, Seattle, I mean, Tampa Bay has really come out with a different attitude this half. Their defensive line's getting off the ball and creating problems for the Seattle's offensive line.
And the absence of Chris Warren, who injured his hip, certainly not helping. 3rd and 4 now for the Seahawks. Meyer looks incomplete. Intended for Paul Green, the tight end, and a 4th down coming up.
Yeah, that's... Paul Green will tell you should have caught that. That's just, I want to catch the ball quick and get down. I mean, he knows he can feel everybody around him. Rick Meyer sees him open, makes a good read, gets the ball to him. Just took his eye off the ball. I mean, that happens so many times, even at this level. I mean, tendency to want to run the ball before you catch it.
Blades a little bit shaken up. Seattle dealing with some injuries. Rick Tootin back to punt once again. 4 punt. Makes a nice bounce for Seattle, and Turner's going to let it stop. Seahawks get a break. And Tampa Bay will take over inside the 15. There's some pushing and shoving going on down there. A 58-yard punt for Tootin. No return. 3.5 remaining, just over here in the third.
Sundays brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
Tampa Bay has it at their own 12. 1st and 10. Brett gets the call and has a hole. Gets up to about the 18-yard line. Rod Stevens brings him down.
You know, in special teams, I mean, you talk about smart things. Watch this right here. I mean, he's going to push Vernon Turner, try to get him touch the football here so they can pick it up. That's smart special teams play. I mean, they're going to try to get him to touch the ball so then they can pick it up. Look, Vernon Turner doesn't like that. But that's a smart special teams play. They're well coached.
Turner's got to stay out of there.
Yeah. Vernon Turner, I mean, George Stewart's not going to, when he's going to see that on film, he's going to point that out to him.
2nd and 4. Brett's got 69 yards on 20 carries. Dawsey in motion. Eric Brett again. And close to a 1st down. He appears to have it for Tampa Bay. Right now, this game summary sponsored by Budweiser. Turnovers key for Seattle, although they still hold the 15-10 lead. Warren's got 116 yards rushing, but he's also out right now, injured his hip.
Yeah, well, and you see Brian Blades head off with a limp, and those two guys are keys to this offense being successful. You know, I think that Tampa's found a diamond in the rough here, and they need to keep giving the ball to Eric Brett.
He gives them a 1st down at their own 23. Play action. Erickson looks downfield, fires. Courtney Hawkins has it. Another 1st down, knocked out at about the 35-yard line, a 12-yard pass play.
What makes that play successful is the running play by Rhett. I mean, those plays look identical, and to be able to do that, I mean, this is going to look, he's going to look like he's handling off. And then he pulls the ball out to the last second, looks like a run play, and that allows the linebackers to come up and the receivers get beyond him.
Carlton Gray knocks him down. And he's down on the field right now after that hit. 15-10. Seattle leads by 10. 2:17 remaining in the third.
I mean, you're going to watch Carlton Gray. I mean, he's going to make the hit. Right here, he makes the hit. Looks fine. He's walking off. Everything seems to be okay. And then you're going to see right up here, on the top of your screen, it hits him all of a sudden. He must have, you know, got a nerve or something. I mean, that's kind of could have been a nerve thing.
He left the field on his own power. 1st and 10, though, for Tampa Bay. Erickson throwing again. Anthony McDowell on the screen play. He's got some blockers ahead of him. And gets maybe 3. A flag is thrown. Orlando Waters on the stop. Jerry Markbright and his crew. Not a lot of flags. Both teams have had their penalty problems, but it's not been the case this afternoon.
No, really, both teams have done a good job. I mean, you know, the turnovers, again, have been the things that have haunted both of these teams, and the mental mistakes and not being able to capitalize on turnovers when you get them.
Carlton Gray, by the way, his right forearm is being x-rayed. They're going to bring him back. Tom Flores.
On number 61, offense. 10 yards and still 1st down.
Tony Mayberry committing the infraction. Has some words with Sam Nash. So they'll bring it back to the 35.
Watch the bottom of your screen right here. He's going to come out and leg whipping.
Rufus Porter goes down, but they caught Mayberry.
That's a good block unless you get caught. I mean,
that's tough in the open field not to get caught, however.
Right. If you're going to do it, you want to do it a little closer where it's not an official round.
We received word attendance this afternoon, 37,466. That's the smallest non-strike crowd in Seattle history. 1st and 17. They mark it now at the 28-yard line. Erickson fires. Caught Horace Copeland. And that goes up to about the 41 right now. For McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Mike, well, if the offense can't do it, then you turn to the defense. The Saints pressuring Jeff Hostetler, knocked the ball loose, fumbled, picked up by, guess who? Tyrone Hughes of the Saints. 42 yards to pay dirt. Saints have eased back into it. Trail now 10-7. Back to Mike.
Thanks, James. Taking advantage of the turnovers, something Tampa Bay has been unable to do. Mazio Royster gets the call on a counter play. Gets up to about the 46-yard line. Very close to a 1st down and should have it. Yep.
That's a good job by Tampa to dig themselves out of a hole. I mean, you get a penalty like that, you got 1st and long, you come back, you get a successful 2nd down play, and then all your options are opened up when it's 2nd and short.
Bob Spitulski on the stop. Sam Weiss says, hey, 6 games to go. We can do a lot in the final 6 games.
Yeah, and I think that's the attitude amongst the whole team.
In the final minute of the 3rd quarter, 1st and 10 again for Tampa Bay. They're at their own 47. Erickson the shotgun. Quick throw to Copeland. And he gets down to about the 46 in Seattle territory. Erickson's been very sharp.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, you know, about Erickson all year. I mean, he's really been consistent. I mean, Sam Weiss said yesterday, I mean, his play doesn't get, the way he's playing football, it's hard to take him off the field. It just says they have a high-priced 1st rounder.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, Tampa Bay is still trailing. It's 15-10, but they're on the move once again. Again, are in Seattle territory. 2nd and 3. Ball at the Seahawk 46. Big rush from Seattle. Quick throw. Charles Wilson, the reception, and he's going to gain more. Wilson finally brought down at about the 33. Another 1st down for Tampa Bay. Spitulski on the stop. 14-yard pickup.
That was a nice job by Wilson making the catch, but getting back up and getting more yards out of that. I mean, that's how you define a good receiver. I mean, he's going to come up here, come out to that. The ball's a little underthrown, so he's got to go down and get it, but he has the presence of mind to get back up, and he gets 5 or 6 more yards. I mean, that's what you need out of receivers.
Shows a little something to the rookie quarterback, Orlando Waters. 1st and 10. Hawkins goes in motion. 4 wide receivers again for Tampa Bay. Mazio Royster gains a couple. Want to remind you, here on Fox, this Thanksgiving, Mad About You and Seinfeld won't be on, but Fox rocks this Thursday with Martin, followed by Living Single with special guest star Deion Sanders. After that, the action kicks in with New York Undercover. It's a special night of brand new holiday episodes this Thursday on Fox.
I think Tampa Bay has figured something out here. I mean, they've kind of went out of the regular formations in the tight end. They've got 4 wide outs out there.
Something Sam Weiss likes to do, go out of the normal formation. Erickson to throw. Complete to Royster. And he's close, fumbles the ball.
No, he was down.
No word from the officials yet. There also is a flag down. Royster short of the first down. And the coercion from the players begins. Robert Blackman and Sam Adams both feel it's Seahawk ball.
See, on Saturday we usually go through this. How to try to influence officials.
Here's Mark.
There was a fumble on the field recovered by Seattle. However, there's an illegal contact foul on number 29 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So an opportunity wasted by Seattle.
Yeah, well, Tony Brown he's filling in for Gray, who's been hurt. Yeah, I think that's ticky-tacky. I mean, it doesn't look like he tried to jam him too bad, but you know, they're gonna be careful with all those things. I mean, if you make any contact after 5 yards, I mean, they're gonna flag the defensive player.
Say one thing, the officials have been consistent calling that. The defensive backs might not like it, but it's something that they said they were going to call, and they've done it pretty much all season.
Yeah, well, you know, they came around in training camps, all of our training camps. They laid out the rule to us and explained it, so everybody knew, and they've been very consistent in calling that. So, you know, we had fair warning, and you just got to learn to play within those rules now.
Could be a costly penalty because Tampa Bay would have lost the football. Right now, though, they have 1st and 10 at the Seattle 25. Erickson throwing on first down again. Complete to Royster out of the backfield, spins, and gets another first down, brought down at about the 12. Spitulski on the stop, another 12-yard gain.
You know what I like about this is Royster's actually making his protection and chipping his way out, and then Erickson is just finding him after the linebackers are dropping. Spitulski just leaves him after he looks like he's helping out, and then Erickson just finds him.
So
that's a nice play.
Mazio Royster, 3rd-year man out of Southern Cal, getting some extra duty here in the second half.
Yeah, we're seeing the backup, the second string halfbacks come into play here.
Defensive coordinator Rusty Tillman needs a stop. Erickson's completed 7 straight. 1st and 10 at the Seattle 13. Erickson to the end zone. Touchdown, Courtney Hawkins. His 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Buccaneers take the lead.
That was a perfectly thrown football and a great catch by Hawkins. I mean, he couldn't put that ball anywhere else but where he put it.
And it looks like Sam Weiss is saying 2-point conversion.
Watch this. Now you're going to see a little bit of how Erickson feels back there. He's got a lot of time, and that helps this. And he puts the ball right where it needs to be put. A nice catch by Hawkins.
16-15, Tampa Bay with their first lead of the afternoon. For Hawkins, his 4th touchdown catch of the season, 2nd today. And the 2-point conversion. The Buccaneers 2 of 3 so far this year on the 2-point conversions.
Well, here we go with the audible again.
Eric Brett. And he's in. 2 points for Tampa Bay. They lead 18-15.
You know, that was the exact same play that Eric Brett didn't get the last time they were down here. Oh, no, he gets it this time. Let's see if he gets in. Does he break? Great play by Eric Brett. I mean, the ball has just got to break the plane.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by Chrysler Cirrus. It's not just a step above, it's the new plateau. By Wendy's, after 25 years, quality's still our recipe. And by Network MCI Business. Install it in your office today.
After trailing 15-0, the Buccaneers 18 straight points. They have the lead. And the kickoff, Michael Bates backed up. Houston with a touchback. And Seattle will take over at their own 20. Eric Rett and the Buccaneers with a 3-point lead.
You know, I want you to watch Eric Rett. He gets the audible this time. He's just going to come off right tackle, but I want you to watch the collision right here. This is Eric Rett's 2 points. I mean, Eric Rett's 210, and he comes in there to Rod Stevens and bam! I mean, just runs him right over. And then he has the presence to get the ball over the goal line. I mean, that's a great run by Eric Rett.
And good camera work has been the case all afternoon by the camera crew and our entire staff. Producer Pete Macheska, director Ned Tate, and everyone else involved. And here at the Kingdome, 4th quarter, Mike Breen and Merrill Hoge, 18-15, Tampa Bay in front. Meyer throws, almost intercepted by Lonnie Martz. And that would have been an easy 6 points if he held on, and the crowd showing they're not appreciative of Meyer's efforts right there.
No, but that definitely would have been 6 points by Lonnie Martz. These things don't happen very often, too, so as a linebacker, you'd like to capitalize on that. Now, he's mad. He's mad because he didn't get 7 points or 6 points.
Those are the type linebackers dream of.
Yeah, because they don't happen very often. The linebackers, they like to score touchdowns.
2nd and 10. Straight up the middle. Buccaneers trying fumble, but it appears he's down. Right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Mike, I know Merrill Hoge knows you can never let up defensively when playing against John Elway. Atlanta finds it out. Elway 22 yards to Jeff Campbell for the score. Denver now in front 17-14 late in the 3rd. Let's take you back to Seattle. Mike Breen and Merrill Hoge.
Well, he's exactly right. You don't want to ever relax. I've seen too many John Elway comebacks in big games.
Seattle trying a comeback right now. Meyer throws. It's complete. Paul Breen, the tight end, breaks a couple of tackles and gets the first down.
I think he was down there. Good call by the official. You know, Paul Green's a big tight end, but when he gets outside, he almost looks like a receiver. I mean, he does a nice job there, breaking tackles and getting the first down. I mean, that's 3rd and 8.
And he's playing Farrell Edmonds out with an injury, so Breen the starter.
Well, watch this. I mean, he's his last. Rick, that's his last guy too. He gives him the football. I mean, he does what a great job here. Sidesteps Hardy Nickerson. Now, you don't break many of Hardy Nickerson's tackles. That's a great job by Paul Green.
Still no Chris Warren out with the right hip injury. John Bourne fumbled twice, so Max Strong is in the backfield along with Steve Smith. Strong gets the call and bullies his way up the middle for about 5.
That's a good job by the offensive line. They created him a nice hole for him. And then watch the offensive line here. I mean, a lot of times when you run the ball and you run effectively, your offensive line does such a good job. I mean, they create he's not hit till he's 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. It's a nice job by the offensive line.
Red Culpepper and John Lynch on the stop. 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. All at their own 37. Strong again. Gets up near a first down to about the 40, very close. And Strong has done a nice job.
Yeah, I mean,
coming in.
That was really a nice job run by Strong. You see Warren, he's giving him a little support out there. Obviously his hips, you know, hurt. He's not going to be able to come back, it looks like. But he's going to be standing there and support these guys.
Almost even in total yards. Seattle jumped out with the 15-0 lead. Looked like they were dominating, but Tampa Bay with a strong 3rd quarter and continuing here in the 4th. Still plenty of time. 9:44 and counting. So another first down for Max Strong. Ball placed at the 41. Meyer looks, fires incomplete, intended for Kelvin Martin. Charles Dimry on the coverage.
That was just a little overthrown. I mean, these are the kind of things that all have added to their problems. But, you know, really today, for the most part, they've been pretty effective in their passing game.
Let's go, dude.
I mean, just what Rick Meyer just sets back here, just overthrows him just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a nice effort by Kelvin Martin.
2nd and 10 at the 41. Meyer now 10 of 19. 2 touchdowns and an interception. Strong gets another call and gets pushed out of bounds by Thomas Everett at about the 43.
It's a nice little Walter Payton stiff arm there. Get a few extra yards.
Strong in his first year out of Georgia, a free agent, is inactive the first 8 games of the season, played mainly special teams, had not carried the football prior to this afternoon.
Yeah, that's one thing that's funny about this league. I mean, you can be on a list and not dress for these games, and all of a sudden dress for the games, and you're out there playing. You know, when it's an important time. I mean, this is an important situation for Seattle. They need to put a drive together, at least 3 to tie it up.
He's paid his dues strong. He was on the practice squad last year. 3rd and 7 now for Seattle. Meyer flushed out of the pocket. Santana Dotson knocks him down. Brad Culpepper also in there on the pursuit.
Boy, Tampa Bay hasn't had a lot of these, but what a good time for that to come. I mean, 3rd and 7, and to put him, not only puts him back, but they gain a little field position by getting this sack. I mean, he breaks through 2 guys, and there I am. And there you go.
First sack of the game. Dotson's 2nd sack of the year.
Start your engine.
And a punting situation. Tootin back on the field. Vernon Turner is back to receive. Beautiful punt from Tootin. Turner with a fair catch. And Tampa Bay will take over at their own 20. 46-yard punt for Tootin. Tampa Bay still in front with just under 8.5 to play. Just under 8.5 to play, 4th quarter. Tampa Bay with the 18-15 lead. They just came up with their first sack in 4 games. Santana Dotson, number 71, the man responsible. Erickson will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 20. 4 wide receivers again. Quick handoff to Royster. That play worked earlier. Did not that time. And want to remind you, join us this Thursday for a Fox NFL Thanksgiving Day special. All begins at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, when Heather Locklear joins Terry, Howie, Jimmy, and James to make broadcast history in a special Fox pregame show. Then the Green Bay Packers will battle the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys in a rematch of last year's playoff game. Don't be late all next Sunday for Thanksgiving Day special. The NFL on Fox. 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 20. Kingdom crowd trying to help out. They're having a tough time hearing. Erickson throwing. Complete to Royster, but immediately whacked down by Spitelski.
Yeah, Ian Merrill, he couldn't hear. I mean, it's starting to get loud down there, and he pointed to Erickson, pointing to his ear, saying, I can't hear.
Remember, there's only 37 plus in the smallest crowd they've had here, yet it still gets loud.
I think Tampa has found something here. I mean, they're staying for 4 wide receivers. I think they're taking advantage that, you know, Seattle's quarterbacks have been hurt. They lost Gray, and he hasn't come back yet.
3rd and 7. Hawkins goes in motion. Complete to Dawsey, and Dawsey gets the 1st down.
Well, he does a nice job to fight for the 1st down there.
Raphael Robinson knocks him out, but they'll move the chains.
Watch Dawsey down here, right in the slot. Pushes off in that 5-yard span. He can do that, but then he fights his way to get the 1st down. That's a nice job.
Make that 10 straight completions for Craig Erickson. Finding a rhythm here in the 2nd half. 1st and 10, ball at their own 31. 6.5 to play. Royster out of the backfield. And Spitelski brings him down, but not before a gain of about 8.
You know, I know the Tampa Bay did not come in here planning on doing this, but this is what coaches do. I mean, coaches adjust. Coaches try to find out what's working. I mean, obviously this is working for Tampa. This is a good move to stay with it.
Someone down on the field for the Seahawks. Looks like Sam Adams. So the rookie is down. 6:22 remaining. Tampa Bay still in front.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Wait, watch right here to the lower bottom of your screen. Ian Beckel just rolls up on Sam Adams. I mean, when you're in the middle of these lines, I mean, that happens a lot of time. I mean, you got to give those guys in there a lot of credit because that happens a lot.
First round pick able to get up and walk off the field. Second and 1 at the 40. Dawsey in motion. Eric Rett has the first down and much more up near midfield about the 47.
And I really like the way Eric Rett runs. I mean, he runs tough. He runs bigger than he really is. I mean, he gets up in there, and Sam Weiss said yesterday how he runs so tough. I mean, when he hits when he sees a crack, I mean, he hits it. He's done that all day today.
22 carries for 82 yards.
You know, and what makes good runners is guys who break tackles and get that extra yardage. Rett is doing a great job of doing that today, and he did a great job last week.
Michael McCrary has come on for Sam Adams. First and 10, Tampa Bay at their own 48. Seahawks have had problems with injuries. Chris Warren still has not returned and doesn't look like he will. Royster straight up the middle and manages to get a couple. Cortez Kennedy brings him down hard. We've heard Carlton Gray, the second-year quarterback, a broken right forearm suffered on that play earlier in the second half. Obviously, he will not return.
That's a position that they can ill afford another injury. I mean, that's been, I mean, before the season started, they started occurring injuries there. During training camp, they had some more, and now this one.
So Tony Brown has come on. Second and 8, ball at midfield. For the tight end in motion. Eric Rett has some room, the first down and more. Rett knocked out of bounds by Brown, but not before he gets up to the 20-yard line. Beautiful block from Ian Beckles. A 26-yard gain for Eric Rett.
I mean, watch this. I mean, everybody's just going to the left. It's just like a belly play, and he reads these blocks and makes a nice cutback. I mean, the line runs everybody by him. Great job by Eric Rett. And he puts on the Jets.
So Rett, for the second consecutive week, goes over the 100-yard mark.
And I think that's the real test in running backs. I mean, you can get 100 yards some weeks, but if you can get them back-to-back, I mean, that's what makes great running backs.
He had 112 last week. That run, 26 yards, the longest of his career. First and 10 at the Seattle 23. They call Rett's number again. Maybe a couple of yards. Right now, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Mike, I think it's safe to say Jeff George is mighty warm today. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns. This is the third of the afternoon. Off the back foot, 47 yards to Terrence Mathis. Mathis, 7 catches, 154 yards. Atlanta's on top, 28-17. Back to Seattle, Mike and Merrill.
Thank you, James. Going for a big road win out in Denver. Tampa Bay trying to do the same, trying for their first road win of the season here at the Kingdom. They lead 18-15 and deep in Seahawk territory. Second and 8. Erickson to play fake. He is hit hard by Wooden and throws it away. Wooden with some good pressure.
It just seems when they do this kind of play action, it's just not developing fast enough for him. Erickson seems to have his back turned when guys are open, and when he turns around, he's got pressure on him. I mean, watch Terry Wood. I mean, he covers, he runs on that, and this is what he told us he wanted to do. He wanted to rush the passer a little more. Looks like he might have hurt, he stepped on his foot.
So Erickson has to throw it away. That sets up a 3rd and 8. Just over 3.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. Erickson has been sharp. That snapped that last incompletion, 11 straight completions. Erickson fires, Dawsey has it, and he's knocked out of bounds short of the first down at about the 17-yard line. Tony Brown and Bob Spitulski in on the stop, and the field goal unit will trot on. So Houston has connected from 30 yards. That's the only field goal attempt of the afternoon. This one will be from 35. Again, he has not missed inside the 40 this year. And Houston gives Tampa Bay a 6-point lead. Still 3:24 remaining at the Kingdome. Tampa Bay trying to snap that 5-game losing streak. (21-15) Tampa Bay leading. The Seahawks will get the ball on the kickoff. They've got just under 3.5 remaining and all 3 timeouts left. And Eric Rett having another fine day. 2 consecutive 100-yard games. 112 last week. He's over the 100-yard mark this afternoon. He's the first Tampa Bay back to do it since James Wilder back in 1985.
Well, I think they found something good there. I mean, somebody special. I mean, somebody they can go into games saying, let's get the ball to Eric Rett, and then they can feed off of that.
They simply have not had a running game most of the season.
Yeah, I think that's been something with Tampa Bay. They've been searching for this guy who can come in and he can have more than just one good game. And doing this, I think, is going to establish a lot of confidence in the coaching staffs with him.
Coming into today, 27th in the league in rushing, and that's going to change if Rett continues to do this. Bates in his own end zone will bring it out. Breaks a couple of tackles, fumbles the ball, but they say he's down. And Seattle will take over at their own 22. Jeff Brady on the stop.
Yeah, that's something that Tampa Bay has done well all year. I mean, they cover kicks. I mean, George Stewart, you see right there. I mean, he's one of the best in the league in getting his players to play. I mean, I was in Pittsburgh and I played for him, and you like to play for this guy. I mean, because he runs with you up and down the field. I mean, trust me, if they put one in the end zone, he'll be there to tackle.
They're one of the best special teams units in the NFL. 3:14 to play. Seattle at their own 23, trailing by 6. Meyer hands off. Max Strong straight up the middle, and he gets about 8. Again, they have all 3 timeouts remaining, and the hurry-up offense here from Seattle.
Yeah, this is the time now. I mean, you've got to put a drive together. You might not get the ball back the way Tampa Bay's been running the ball. You're going to have to put it together now.
2nd and 3. Everyone's covered. Meyer flushed out. Now fires downfield. Incomplete. A flag is thrown on the play. Kelvin Martin and Blades were both in the vicinity. Flag came in a bit late.
Yeah, I'm not so sure who they're going to call this on. I mean, they're already moving.
Defense. Automatic first down at the spot of the ball.
Watch this. Now Blades is coming across. He's open. Hardy's running with him. Kelvin Martin almost pushes him in there. That's a good job by Kelvin.
But Mayhew just looked like he bumped him at the last second. Not a lot of contact, but looked like a good call. So the automatic first down. They're at midfield. 1st and 10. Meyer. Blades gets whacked. Almost had it. And Robert Blackman, or check that.
You know, receivers don't get hit a lot, but boy, when they come across the middle like that, they are widely exposed.
Tony Covington with the hit.
I mean, Brian Blades is a tough guy. I mean, he puts the ball right where it's got to be put, but boy, they leaves them wide open for stuff like that. I mean, they're not very big, but they're tough guys.
Those are the kind you can get really hurt on. Covington really put a lick on him, but Blades ready to go again. 2nd and 10. Still over 2.5 remaining. Back Strong gets it down to about the 43, and it'll be a 3rd and a couple coming up.
You know, I like what Seattle's doing here. I mean, they're running the ball, even though they're in a little hurry up. I mean, they're still running the football. I mean, they're running the football accompanied with passing.
3rd and 4, call it. Meyer flushed out. He's going to run it, and he gets the first down. Carl Wilson flushed him out of the pocket, but Meyer's still making a play out of it.
Hey, Rick Meyer pulled a halfback move here. I mean, that was a nice cut. Watch this. So you get from the end zone, you get a feel for what Rick Meyer is seeing. I mean, nobody's open. So he bides time again. I mean, he hasn't put it across the line of scrimmage yet. He just bides time, gets a block, and comes inside. That's a nice job by Rick Meyer.
2-minute warning. Seattle with a chance to win it. Tom Flores' team trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. They trail by 6, but still have all 3 timeouts remaining and in Tampa Bay territory. We'll have 1st and 10 at the Buccaneers 34. Weiss wanting to stop a 5-game losing streak of his own. They started at their own 23. Meyer to throw. Incomplete. Kelvin Martin had it, but good coverage from Marty Mayhew.
You know, really in situations like this, both these teams have kind of experienced this year, that they felt like their mental toughness hadn't carried through for 4 quarters. Now this is where you find out, can you take that extra step? Can you win games like this? You know, Tampa, can they stop them here? Seattle, can they score? I mean, this is where the mental toughness in this level of football comes into play. It's in the 4th quarter late.
Can they do it without Chris Warren, who has been out of action since early 3rd with the hip injury? 2nd and 10. Meyer complete. Blades has it, but only a pickup of a couple. Clock continues to wind down. And now Seattle will take their first time out. 2 remaining. 1:47 left in the 4th. And right now, let's return to James Brown once again in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Mike, you may think this is a replay. It isn't. This is a 2nd touchdown hookup between Jeff George and Terrence Mathis. Broken play. George off the back foot again. This one a 49-yarder. 2nd touchdown reception from Mathis. 4th TD thrown this afternoon by George. 28-23 Atlanta. Back to Mike and Merrill.
Back to James. Mile High, a tough place to win. The Kingdome was always the case, but this only the 2nd home game of the year for the Seattle Seahawks, at least at the Kingdome, because of all the problems that they had here. They played the first 3 home games at Husky Stadium. There's Chris Warren.
This is definitely 4-down territory. It may be 3rd down, but if they don't get the 1st down here, they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Only 1:47 remaining as you see 3rd and 7. 2 timeouts remaining for Seattle. 3 wide receivers. Meyer's going to run it. A flag is thrown. He's short of the 1st down.
Looks like you got holding. Sometimes it's just, when you call running plays like this, I mean, that was a designed quarterback draw right there. Defensive players come upfield and they start to peel off, and offensive linemen just want to hold them and keep them there.
Number 69, offense. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Jeff Blackshear with a very costly penalty. Seahawks have stayed away from the penalties most of the way, but this one hurts.
You know, watch 69. See, he gets him. He's just trying to control him, just holds on to him too long. Keeps his left hand on there.
So they bring the ball all the way back now to the 41, Tampa Bay 41, and a 3rd and 17 coming up.
And those penalties hurt, but right now, I mean, you can't think about getting a 1st down on this play right here. I mean, you've just got to put yourself in a position where your 4th down play isn't so long.
3rd and 17 in the shotgun. Meyer fires. It's complete to Strong, way short of the 1st down. Keith Poe in on the stop. Crowd doesn't like the call. Flores wants another timeout. So Seattle takes their 2nd. They still have 1 remaining and trail by 6. Sam Weiss hoping to hold on. A 4th down coming up for Seattle. They have the ball on the Tampa Bay 36. And only 1 timeout remaining, but a 4th and 12 situation for Rick Meyer. Seattle last week against Denver went on a final drive that could have tied the game up, but came up short. They want to avoid that this afternoon. Meyer flushed out. Santana Dotson has a piece of him. He throws it. It's complete to Blades. He fumbles the ball. Flags are down. And Marty Carter has picked it up. He's knocked out of bounds.
They're calling that a fumble. They're calling that a fumble.
The whistle did not blow, so it was a fumble, but again, flags are down on the play.
Uh-oh. It's on Tampa.
So this one is not over yet. You can see when Buccaneers arguing, Thomas Everett very upset.
They might have got somebody for holding when he started to scramble. Or pass interference. Looks like they call it on Thomas Everett.
Illegal contact foul on number 21. Defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Mike Magruder whistled for that one. So automatic first down. Huge play. Some big penalties here in this final drive. And still plenty of time. 1:17 to play. Tom Flores' team down by 6.
Yeah, well, you know, both teams have committed penalties that have hurt them. And, you know, now this gives them a first down and a whole new slate here. You know, with plenty of time. You got 1:17.
The frustration of a tough season showing with Sam Weish.
Watching the corner of the screen. Right there, right to right side. I guess that's what they called.
First
They
and
can do
10.
that. They can do that every play, really.
Meyer downfield. Incomplete.
What a...
Marty Mayhew breaks it up. Intended for Rob Thomas. Charles Dimry actually on the coverage.
I mean, this is a great job by Charles Dimry. He's fallen, but no, it just came out. Oh.
Thomas
By
did a nice
surprise,
job.
I think. Yeah.
2nd and 10. Again, Seattle, 1 timeout remaining. 3 wide receivers. Protection is good. Almost picked off.
Boy.
Mayhew almost that one.
Mayhew wants that back. I mean, that puts the game away right there.
So here we go again. Another big 3rd down.
Yep. You know, they just got to get something out of this. They don't have to get a first down because obviously this is 4-down territory.
Offensive coordinator Larry Kenning. They need another big play. They've had quite a few big 3rd down conversions throughout this game.
Yeah, so far Tampa's been able to overcome that penalty right now.
1:06 left in the 4th. 3rd and 10. Seattle down by 6. Meyer fires. It's complete. They've got the first down. Relvin Martin.
Rick Meyer showed great patience, just staying in the pocket and letting it unfold. Kelvin Martin came wide open. It looked like they might have blown something back there.
A 20-yard pickup.
Watch this. I mean, Rick Meyer just stays in there. I mean, he's got great composure. He just sits there and he lets things develop. He's got great protection. The line does a great job there. It makes a nice throw.
Everett finally stops him.
Watch Kelvin Martin here. I mean, he just comes up, beats the jam right there, and then comes wide open. I mean, somebody over top, or just Kelvin Martin does a nice job in finding the open seam there. And Meyer with the patience to get him the ball, and the line did a great job in allowing that.
So 1st down and 10 at the 11-yard line. Seattle takes their final timeout. They still have 54 seconds. And again, they're down by 6, so obviously a field goal won't cut it. They've got to go into the end zone.
Yeah, and if you're Tampa, you have to know that too. I mean, it comes down to a mental attitude right here. I mean, they've got 11 yards, and they cannot allow them to get in the end zone.
Both these teams desperate for a win. Seattle at 3-7. They've dropped 6 in a row. Tampa Bay at 2-8. They've lost 5 straight. I want to give special thanks this afternoon to our spotter, Marty Arnoff, and our statistician, Chuck Gardner. 54 seconds remain here at the Kingdome in Seattle. A key penalty against Mike Magruder has kept this drive alive. Meyer in the shotgun. Again, the Seahawks out of timeouts. Meyer flushed out. Good coverage. He's going to run. And he goes out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Boy, that was great coverage by the secondary of Tampa Bay. I mean, nobody was open. And Meyer kept trying to bide himself some time and, you know, try to pick up a few yards before he had to go out of bounds.
Hardy Nickerson chases him out. Clock stops at 47 seconds. And a 2nd and 6 coming up, all at the 7.
You know, when Hardy's chasing you, it's a good idea to get out of bounds.
Meyer has been very smart in terms of when deciding to run and when to throw it away. 2nd and 6. Strong on the pitch. He's got room. Touchdown, Seattle. They've tied it up. Strong filling in for the injured Chris Warren from 7 yards out.
You know, Kelvin Martin got a great block there. I mean, Strong needs to thank him, and I'm sure he will after he watches film, but that was a great block by the wide receiver.
And now the very important extra point from John Casey. He has not missed one all season long. Chance to give Seattle the lead back. You don't think he's pumped?
Nah, you know, you go from being 3rd on the depth chart to scoring the winning touchdown. I mean, that's a great feeling right there. And Kelvin Martin, look, everybody gets a great block. But watch Kelvin Martin. His block actually takes him up into the other guy and gives him a great around the corner.
Max
that guy's happy.
Out of Georgia practice squad last year, no carries this year.
All right, watch Kelvin Martin. And he gets Thomas Everett up in there, and it allows him to get around the court. I think when Strong came into the game, I don't think he expected to score the winning touchdown. Watch this. I mean, everybody gets a good block. They get a hat on a hat, and that's all you need to do in this league, because you got guys behind you that can make plays.
You think a 6-game losing streak doesn't weigh on a coach? Watch this. 12 plays, 77 yards. It took him 242. And Max Strong, who was inactive the first 8 games this season, hadn't carried the ball prior to this afternoon. Filling in for the injured Chris Warren, comes up big. Now the Buccaneers still have all 3 timeouts remaining, but only 42 seconds to do it.
Well, I think that if there's an offense, though, that can do it, and Erickson is smart enough, he can utilize that 42 seconds and put something together. All they need is a field goal to win it.
They need a big return. Curtis Buckley and Vernon Turner. Again, Turner's returned a punt for a touchdown this year. Casey, a low kick. Turner at his own 4. Good run back up to about the 39. A flag is thrown on the play.
Now, if that's against Tampa Bay, and it is, I mean, you get a good return and then you hurt yourself by going back.
Penalties have really hurt them in the final couple of minutes. Ed Brady with the hold.
Life as a kicker, you don't think they get hit? That's the first thing you look for. They look for those kickers. Kickers, they got to stay back. Only kicker I know in the league that probably take that is Kevin Butler. Now he'll go down there and take it.
Casey did okay. Erickson has 80 yards to go. 37 seconds to do it. Complete to Hawkins. He gets out of bounds at about the 24. Pickup of about 5. Dave McCluen on the stop.
I mean, you're going to have to go down the field a little more than that eventually, but these are nice, successful plays to get you going.
Only 3 seconds ticked off that time, and again, Tampa Bay with all 3 timeouts remaining. 6 defensive backs in the game for Seattle. 4 wide receivers for Tampa Bay. 2nd and 6. Erickson fires. Knocked away. Brown with the play. Intended for Horace Copeland. Tony Brown with a good defensive play.
And I watch this. Tony Brown just settles and drives on it just like the receiver should. And he gets his hand out there and knocks the ball down. I mean, that's a nice play by Tony Brown. Get your right hand out there. Got his left hand on his back a little bit, but nobody saw it. No harm, no foul.
Brown filling in for the injured Carlton Gray. 3rd and 6. Big rush from Seattle. Flag is thrown. Erickson dumps it incomplete. Intended for Royster. But again, a flag on the play. Penalty such a factor in the closing minutes.
Illegal contact foul on number 31 defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
The rookie Orlando Waters, they've called that throughout the game. It's been consistent.
Now watch Waters here down the bottom of the screen. Just a little contact beyond 5-yard mark. But they're going to, I mean, they're really sticklers on that. They're going to call it.
Consistency is what coaches want. They've called that throughout the game. Ball at their own 29. Only 23 seconds remain. 1st and 10, however. Erickson flushed out, and he has to throw it away. Cortez Kennedy with a big rush.
I think he might get roughing the passer here.
There is a flag down again.
Intentional grounding on number 7 offense.
Well, Cortez just gets up the field. I don't know.
No receiver around.
And that's probably what they saw. Nobody around.
Kennedy right on top of him. 2nd and 10.
I don't blame Erickson.
Ball goes back to the 19. Erickson's going to have to air it out. And whistles. A host of players move.
Well, that's one of the problems with the shotgun. I mean, first of all, you put your tackles out there on the end, and they get a little jumpy.
Number 70 offense. Prior to any snap, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's hard for the center to hear the snap.
Buccaneers just not giving themselves any kind of a chance to get the ball downfield. 2nd and 25. Now it's way back at the 14. They have all their timeouts left, but only 19 seconds remain. Erickson fires downfield. Dawsey catches it. Going to try and get out of bounds, but brought down at the 30, and Tampa Bay calls timeout. Only 10 seconds left, and they still have 70 yards to go. Robert Blackman on the stop.
Boy, if he could have broken that tackle, he had a couple receivers for a while. He might have been able to get upfield. Watch this all the way across the field. Now he's just going to come across. He's going to work. He's going to find an opening. Erickson's going to give it to him. Now watch, if he can just get out of this one. Boy, he had a couple guys to give him some blocks. He may have been able to get a little more out of that.
Tampa Bay calls their first timeout. They still have 2 remaining. Take this opportunity to thank our producer Pete Macheska, director Ned Tate, our associate director Sherm Egan, broadcast associate Bridget Rooney, and the entire crew. Great job, everyone. And it looks like Seattle will break their 6-game losing streak. Houston's career long is 57 yards.
We still got some time to get downfield and get that yards. It's going to be a long field goal, but you still have a shot here.
3rd and 9. Kingdom crowd fired up. Erickson. It's complete. At about the 46. Horace Copeland on the reception. 5 seconds remaining. This is still out of Houston's territory. They're going to try and get one more play in.
Yeah, you're going to have to actually try one more play. It's not, they can't take 5 seconds. I mean, you're going to have to do, 10, 12 yard or get out of bounds and then, give them a try. It's going to have to be quick.
5 seconds remain. They've got to go for it because there's no way Houston kicks the field goal. Erickson flushed out. Fires downfield. Intercepted. Eugene Robinson with a pick. Tampa Bay claiming that a Buccaneer caught it. And there's the signal. The Seahawks winning. Buccaneers are very upset.
Watch, I think he just goes up and gets the ball. I don't know what the questioning.
Robinson catches it. And then the Buccaneers felt that they took it away, but not the case. And a big win for Seattle. Seahawks come from behind. Rick Meyer and the Seahawks finish up with a victory. They snap the 6-game losing streak, and that'll do it from the Kingdome. Bonus coverage coming up. We're going to go to Mile High Stadium in Denver and catch the end of the Broncos and the Falcons. For Merrill, Hoge, and our entire crew, this is Mike Breen saying let's go out to Mile High Stadium in Denver.